So today we're starting with task 2, and it will be an introduction to fiction or stories. You will be doing spelling today of the split vowel digraph AE. We'll be doing an introduction to stories, and then we'll be doing a task at the end involving the beginning and the end of a story. So let's have a look at our new spelling for today, and it's the split vowel digraph AE. I'm specifically not talking about the silent E, which you might have heard about before, because there's so many exceptions to spelling in English that I'm afraid that if I teach you only silent E, it might confuse you because it doesn't apply to all words that is spelled in this way. So, what is a split vowel digraph? As you know, digraphs are two letters that make one sound. Okay, and we've done quite a few of those. About 2 weeks ago, you did the AI and the AY, which only makes the A sound. And then last week, you did double E and EA, which only makes the E sound. And soon we'll be doing the OA, which only makes an O sound. So there you see it in rain, boat, and sea. A split digraph also contains two letters, the AE, AEE, the IE, the OE, and the UE, but they are split between a consonant. Right, so in the middle of them, there will be a consonant. There you can see make, there's an A and a K and an E, bike and pure. So in between those two vowel digraphs, there is a consonant. So the split digraph works by using an E after the initial vowel to change the sound of the vowel. So if you take that E away at the end, it will make the short sound in the word. And now the E at the end changes that short vowel to a long vowel. Quickly have a look at these examples, then you'll understand what I mean. So there you have a little baby cub. If you put an E at the end, it becomes cube. So now you use, from the short sound, you change it to the long U sound. Hop becomes hope. Completely different, right? Kit becomes kite. Man becomes mane. Cap becomes cape. Pin becomes pine. So the E at the end of the word, changing the vowel in the middle to a longer sound. And that is a split vowel digraph. I'm going to quickly read you this little story so that you can see all the many split vowel digraphs. Bike and skates. Jane had a cute bike and went for a ride. Jane met Pete on his skates. Here, Pete, she told him, take my bike and let me use your skates. So Pete rode Jane's bike back home. He made a trade back for his skates when he was done with it. Just a good little example of how the split digraphs works. You'll be doing a worksheet today of the AE, and there you'll see we have to sound out the words that I did, and as you hear the sounds you write them in the blocks. Now you'll see with the example they make A, K. We don't hear that E, right? So that's why you write the E with the K. So it's not a separate sound that we can hear. So you complete that, and then you're going to find the rhyming words in the bottom block. There's also a little challenge. There's a 4 in a row rhyming words where all 4 words are next to each other. See if you can find it and highlight it. Here we go with types of fictional stories and text. So we're going to spend some time from now on and through next week as well, focusing on fiction. Fiction is the same as you've done in Afrikaans, fictie. It is stories that we love to read and listen to. So we're going to focus on that, and we're going to talk about everything that is part of a story, and in the end you're going to write your own story. So what kind of fictional stories do we get? Now, first of all, traditional literature is the ones that you grow up with. Traditional stories. Stories passed on from one group to another in history. So often moms and dads tells us stories, South African stories, and then also, of course, the one we hear the most when we're small is fairy tales. We hear folk tales, that's part of our history. We hear legends and fables, and then also myths, the Greek myths. And then there's also something called tall tales. Tall tale is a story that's told as if it's the truth, but it's extremely exaggerated. The things in that story is nearly unbelievable, but people telling that story tells it as if it's the truth. Okay, here's another kind of fictional text we get. Action and adventure, and this is often books that boys love, but I'm not going to stereotype because when I was a child, I loved adventure stories. So there's always a little bit of danger or a little bit of threat in those stories. Then we get fantasy stories, that is, has some elements of magic or talking animals or magic powers in that story. In a way, the story Matilda is also a bit of a fantasy story. Then we get realistic fiction, right? The story is using make-up characters, but it could actually happen in real life. And this is often storybooks that we get, that you guys get for your age group in the library or in shops. Then we get science fiction. That's a type of fantasy that uses science and technology. Of course, you know science fiction very well. It has robots, time machines, it's out of space kind of stories, things that could possibly maybe happen in the future. And then mystery stories, okay, where you have to try and solve the mystery or the problem or the murder or something that went wrong. Okay, so today we are just going to listen to a traditional story. This is only a listening activity, so you can sit back, listen carefully, and then you're going to answer some questions orally by speaking at the end of the story. So we're going to read the title of the story, The Magic Tree, and we're going to look at the pictures. And this is the questions that I'll be asking you at the end that I want you to think about. Who are the characters in the story? Where does the story happen? How does the story begin? And how does the story end? Okay, show you the pictures. Have a look at them. And then I am going to read you the Magic Tree story. You can listen carefully. You will have to read the story on your own if you want to make sure you can remember all the answers. So here we go. An old man and an old woman lived in a small house. They were very poor. They had a few chickens and a beautiful mango tree. One winter it was really cold. The old man and woman had almost no food and no wood to make a fire. "Cut down the mango tree," said the old woman. "We can use the wood to make fires. We can make furniture and we can sell it at the market." The old man was very sad, but he took his axe and he went outside. Then the tree spoke. "No, don't kill me. I am a magic tree. If you are kind, I will make your wish come true." The old man put down his axe. "Can you make my house warm and give me food to eat?" asked the old man. The wind began to blow. Whoosh! Two big branches fell down from the tree. The old man chopped up some branches for firewood. The old man made a wooden table and he sold some of the wood. Soon the mango tree produced lots of fruits again. Thank you, Magic Tree, said the old man. Okay, so quickly tell me, who are the characters in this story? Yeah, pretty simple and easy. We can also see that in the picture. It was an old man and an old woman. Do you think the tree was also a character since it could speak? I'm going to leave that one with you to think about. Okay, where does the story happen? Well, it doesn't completely tell us where, but if you look at the pictures for once, it's clearly not in a city. It's somewhere in the countryside, maybe on a farm. Okay, and they had to go to a market. So it's somewhere far away from town. Okay, how does the story begin? Now, guys, I want you to have a quick look at what happens at the very, very beginning of the story. It immediately tells you who the characters are and where they were living. It puts you immediately into the story. So there's an old man and an old woman living in a small house. They were very poor, and they had a few chickens and a beautiful mango tree. You immediately have a picture in your mind of the people and the place or the setting. Okay, so how does the story end? In this case, it's a happy ending, right? Because what happened? The tree gave branches that the man could use to make the house warm. He could use it to make furniture to sell for food, and the tree also gave them fruit. Okay. Now we're going to look at another story, and we have done this story in the form of a comprehension in class. But now you're going to do something different with it. This is The Ugly Duckling. It is in your GDE book on page 114 and 115. Okay, I want you to read this story by yourself carefully. You can read it out loud to your mom or dad if you want. And then you're going to answer the questions. If you would like me to read the story, I can do that. Okay, so my eyes on that, seeing that well though. Mother Duck lives with her family on a farm. Mother Duck is sitting on 7 eggs waiting for them to hatch. Then one by one all the eggs started cracking open, all except one very big speckled egg. Eventually the last egg cracks open. Out jumps the last baby duck. It is a very ugly duckling. Hello, Mama, I'm here. Mother Duck takes all her baby ducks to the farm to swim in the pond. The animals are mean to the ugly duckling. They laugh at him and make rude comments about him. Ha ha ha, look at that funny creature. Look at that horse saying that. Okay, one night the ugly duckling decides to run away. He goes to the river. He sees many beautiful swans. Their feathers are so smooth. They have such big, long, slender necks. Their wings are so pretty. Ooh, they are all so beautiful. And then comes the spring. The sun shines again and the trees are fresh and green. One morning the ugly duckling sees the beautiful swans again. The ugly duckling is very sad. He begins to cry. He is all alone. He wishes he could look like a swan. While he is crying, he looks down between his tears. He sees his reflection. He is a beautiful swan, and the swans call him to come and swim with them. Wow, is that me? I look like a swan. Okay, once again, there's questions here to answer. Who's the main characters in the story? Which characters are nasty? And what is the message of the story? You can see there's some blank spaces. If you want, you can fill them in. of the words of the characters. And this is going to be your task for today. You'll be doing the split vowel digraph sheet, a worksheet. It's on page 4 on in your worksheet pack. You will only be doing the beginning and the end of this story in your GDE book, page 116. We focused on the beginning and the end of the magic tree, and I want you to only tell me what happened at the beginning and what happened at the end. And then for fun today, you will be listening to a story on YouTube. You're going to right click on that link and you're going to click on open hyperlink and you're going to listen to Billy's Bucket instead of reading in your English reader. Okay, and then I just want to show you that is the beginning and the end only. You don't have to do the middle and the next part, which is both part of the middle.